So if somebody asks you to go to their cabin, oh no, oh boy, oh girl, do not go to that room if you're not going to do anything related with work. You know what I mean? Yeah, do not. That will immediately send you home in the next pot. Hello world, welcome to my channel. It's Grace on board. So I'm right here in my cabin and I'm on my break actually. So I usually spare part of my break to do some content, yeah, and then the rest of the hours I get to sleep. So in today's topic, we're going to learn about things that you could do on board a ship that could lead you to termination of your contract. You go home, yeah, things that could get you fired on board a ship. So in the company we have something we call zero tolerance. So these are the things that the company cannot tolerate after you commit them, yes, because they're indicated all over. You've been having all the trainings and you still manage to violate them, and that could really send you home immediately, in fact at the next port. So what are these things that we are looking for that could really send you home? And actually in most ships they are very keen about this zero tolerance, and because they want to make the environment on board a ship comfortable for everybody. Yeah, so one of the major things that really send crew members home is sexual harassment. Yes, so when I talk of sexual harassment, it could be even the simple things you think they are simple and they're not. That could be as little as spanking. When you spank somebody and you think it's okay with them and it's not really okay with them, and they go reporting you to the HR on board, that could really send you home during the next port. Even touching somebody inappropriately like this, you know, that could really send you home if they're not okay about it. So I would advise people, especially crew members, the new hires, the new joiners, when you're joining the ship, please avoid inappropriate touches between crew members or the passengers. Just avoid, because this could lead you to go home. Yes, so just keep up and always keep your hands like this if you feel like this is coming too much and you feel like a certain person is really pursuing you in a way that you feel it could lead you to problems. Just report it immediately before it turns back on you. So when I talk of sexual harassment, it could be both genders. It could be male to male, female to female, it could be female to male and male to female. Yes, so these are the things that you need to be careful about as a crew member on board a ship. You really need to avoid them and be careful, because they could send you home immediately the next port we are docking. Yes, so number 2 of the things that could really send you home is discrimination. Yes, so you find yourself discriminating a particular culture, a particular person, from where they come from, the way they do things, the way they eat, the way, you know, you're not supposed to talk about it. That is discriminating somebody for where they come from or for who they are. You have to respect everybody's culture. You have to respect everybody for who they are, because you are on board a ship and you're supposed to be a family. Yes, and you have to be together in everything. Like in these things, I mean, when you discriminate someone, meaning you're not together in anything, you know, we are like a family. Yeah, so you have to avoid the slightest comments that you could have that could really damage the emotional and the background of that person. You have really to be careful and watch what you say. You could always preserve your comment, because the moment you feel like you're really angry, you just hold it, because it could really send you home, and that could really send you home as soon as possible. And so number 3 of the other thing that could really send you home, that will be racism. So racism is zero tolerance on board a ship. You do not describe people for who for their color. This one is this way, this one is this way, this color. No. Color does not define anybody in this world. Color does not define anybody on board a ship, and the company does not support racism at any cost. So do not practice that, because it's gonna send you home immediately. So we love ourselves for who we are, and we're not allowed to be racist among crew members, among passengers. No, you have to be really careful, and you have to work together together as a team. Yes, so number 4 of the other thing that could really send you home is stealing. Like you find something that does not belong to you and then you steal, you take it without asking. That is stealing. That could really send you home. So that you have to be careful of taking somebody's belongings without their knowledge. That could be considered as stealing, as well as company's stuff that could be considered as stealing. You have to inform before you take, and you have to be extra careful, because this is a dangerous accusation that you could get, and that would really send you home ASAP. So number 5 of the other thing that could really get you home is time and attendance. Yes, so we all have something called chronos, where you sign in when you're going for break, you sign out, then you sign in again, then you sign out again. Yes, we have that system that you have to enter your hours that you've really worked. You are not supposed to put hours that you have not worked. Yes, and when you're on break, you have to really sign out, and you're not supposed to add any extra hour that you have not worked for. And anytime you're checking out, even if you're going for break more than 15 minutes, you really have to put it in the system, because if you don't put it, it's gonna count as you worked, and that could really be considered as stealing hours from the company. Yes, you have really to put the correct hours, and lateness is not tolerated. You have to be on time before at least 15 minutes for your schedule. Yes, so you really need to observe time and attendance when you're on board a ship, so that not to inconvenience anybody who is supposed to leave, because you're supposed to relieve them, as well as you're not supposed to be late because you need to do mise en place for your station. And for smooth service running, you need to be punctual. So time and attendance, you have to be really observant. And so number 6 of the other thing that could really get you home is drunkenness when you are on duty. Yes, so we have a certain limit that you should have when on duty, and we have a certain limit that you could have that you're not when you're not on duty. So we have a percentage of when not on duty and a percentage when you're on duty. So when you come to work on when you're drunk, and they realize that you're really drunk and you're unable to perform your duties, so they do a test on you in medical services. Yeah, remember we have even a hospital on board. So and when you pass the limits, I mean when you fail the drug test of the alcohol, I mean if I could put it that way, and you have exceeded the required percentage on duty, that could really terminate you immediately, because when you're drunk, you're not in sober mind, and you could really endanger a lot of things, because you're not sober and everything you're doing will be totally a mess, and that could lead to other stuff. Actually, when you're drunk, it could lead, and this takes me to my number 7 thing that could really get you fired, which is fighting. A lot of crew members have been fired because of attending on duty when they're drunk, and then this leads them to fighting when they get to a quarrel. So fighting will be number 7 of the things that could really get you fired. You're not supposed to fight on board a ship. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. Violence is not allowed. That is complete zero tolerance. So a lot of crew members, when they get drunk and they quarrel, they end up fighting, they end up throwing things at each other. That is not allowed on board a ship, and you have to really control yourself. I know it's not easy at all sometimes, because you're working for at least long hours, and then there's pressure, and like any other company. So you have to be really careful and hold it. You have to hold it. So fighting, and that will lead you home in the next port. All right, so the other thing that could lead you home immediately, that would be bullying. So in my company, there's a zero tolerance of bullying. Immediately you feel somebody is demeaning you, somebody is bullying you, is harassing you in front of others, making you feel low, you have to report this to your supervisor. Bullying happens a lot. I have seen it happen somewhere else, but actions have not been taken. But I can tell you, on board a ship, when you report these cases of bullying, because it happens, I've seen people going home because of bullying, you really need to report it immediately to the HR, so that this person can be given disciplinary measures, and that could lead even up to termination. They could be sent home for bullying. Nobody should make you feel less on board a ship. Nobody should make you feel demeaned or feel like you don't know what, you're supposed to guide someone. You're supposed to tell them nicely, not to bully them for what they are, for who they are, for what they are doing. And especially the new hires, I would advise you to have you need to have a strong heart, because you're ready to deal with everyone, everybody. Ship life is really busy, so you need to be strong. Like I say, ship life is never for the faint-hearted. You need to be strong. So bullying, when you feel somebody is bullying you, you have to report that immediately to your supervisor. You could go to the HR and report, and that person will be given a disciplinary measure. So I believe in number 9, I think I lost track because I was going with the flow. So another thing that could really get you fired, that would be going to the guest cabins. So in the guest cabins, we have authorized people only who are supposed to go there. For example, the room service and the stateroom attendants were there for services, and maybe security at some point when there is need, or maybe electrician to fix their purposely for work. So if somebody asks you to go to their cabin, oh no, oh boy, oh girl, do not go to that room if you're not going to do anything related with work. You know what I mean, yeah? Do not. That will immediately send you home in the next port. If you are not obliged to work for room service, that and housekeeping and any other thing that is legal, you are not supposed to go to the guest cabin. You are not allowed to go to the guest cabin if you're not allocated there, if you're not authorized to do that. Do not lose your job for simple things. Do not. And the last but not least, I believe in number 10 right now. So that will be drug. The final thing that could really get you fired, last but not least, will be drugs. Drug abuse, drug usage. Illegal drugs are not allowed on board our ships. Yeah, so if they realize that you are under any substance that is illegal and you go do a drug test and you fail the drug test, believe me, you're going home in the next port. Yes, so you really need to refrain to the 10 things that I mentioned. We call them the zero tolerance. They cannot be tolerated. The tolerance is zero. Nobody will tolerate any of the above things that I mentioned. They could really send you home. And why should you allow yourself to go home after spending all that money, after doing all that, the hard work? It's a blessing to be here. You just need to be careful. Observant. So just be careful on board a ship, and just be on the right track. Do the right thing at the right time, and that's how you're gonna finish your contract without all these disasters, without all these mishaps. You have to be careful and keep your job, and nobody's gonna ask you nothing. Yeah, do your job the right way, keep your job, and enjoy your cruise, enjoy your wherever. So that was the 10 zero tolerance things that could really lead you to go home. I felt like sharing, to let people know who are joining the ship, to let them know and prepare them when they're coming on board a ship, that these are the things that you should never ever do on board a ship, because they'll lead you home. So a lot of people have gone home even during their first months. They've been fired because they have done one or two of the things that I've mentioned. Just refrain yourself from doing all this. Yeah, I know it happens a lot back home, especially the sexual harassment when you're passing and somebody punks you like nobody's business, yeah, and no action is taken because they think they're right, yeah. So I'm telling you, try that thing here. Don't try that thing on board a ship, because you'll go home. So that was all for today. Thank you so much for keeping in touch. Keep watching my videos, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like, share, comment. Thank you so much. It's Grace on board once again. Thank you. Stay safe. Ciao.